Everything we have done on sustainability has been done out of need. It wasn't done because we wanted to be sustainable.
Good morning, everyone, and ciao, Nicolo. How are you?
Good afternoon. All good here in Amsterdam.
Today we have two friends, Carl and Matt. Carl and Matt, they work for ISA, the tannery, the beautiful tannery, and now we can go in deep with them and speaking about sustainability and how ISA TanTec has sustainability as a main focus and point of their business. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning.
So tell us about yourself.
I am the sixth generation tanner. I'm from Denmark. And we had a tannery in Denmark until 1987. I went to the tanning school in Germany. Then I used to work for Echo after we closed our tannery. I worked for Echo for 3 years.
Echo was a big school for many people, no?
Exactly. And then I moved to Norway and worked for a family-owned tannery called Borge, which made beautiful leathers in the 90s and 2000s. And then I got a job offer in Shanghai and moved to Shanghai in 2004 and worked for Shanghai Regina Leather for 2 years. And then I moved to Guangzhou, where I met Tom in China, Tom Schneider, and he hired me to become the new COO of ISA. And I remained COO until 5 years ago. Then I became the Senior Director of Strategies.
So now you are a Senior Director of Strategy. And what's your main focus in your daily job?
New developments, new projects, sustainability projects, and customer contracts.
How many plants? Where are the plants located? How many people work for you guys?
We have plants, one in China, two in Vietnam. We just opened a new one in the beginning of the new year, in the beginning of 2020. One in Mississippi and one in Italy, Scabrenta. In China, we are about 700. In Vietnam, we are about 1,000. In the United States, we are about 30. And in Scabrenta, we are around 25.
So it's a big corporation of about 2,000 people working for you guys.
Yes, but it's very different cups of tea, because you have the small artisan tanneries.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have the big, the ones that have grown big.
How many square foot do you guys produce a month?
In China, we are joint ventures, so we produce in cooperation with Bara. We produce 4 million square feet a month and 2 million square feet shoe leather. Vietnam, we produce 4 million in our one tannery, and the new tannery has a capacity of 2 million.
Wow!
So that's 6 million.
So it's a big operation overall.
Sustainability for Isa TanTec is really a must. It's really, you guys started before everybody start to think about what was sustainability. I visited a few years ago your tannery, and I met with the CEO Thomas, and he showed me the tannery in China, and I was impressed really of all the small adjustment that you did in all the machinery to make things more efficient. That means more sustainable. I was like really impressed.
Tom is a very practical man. Everything we have done on sustainability has been done out of need. It wasn't done because we wanted to be sustainable.
Explain us a little bit more about this point. It's very important. Sustainability for you guys, it's a need. So it's a business need. It's not a fantasy.
It all started in 2003 when we had to build a new wastewater treatment plant because the production was increasing and our water consumption was just shooting up. And there was no money for a wastewater treatment plant, and there was no space. And then we started measuring the water consumption and saw what we could save. And then by 2007, we had started saving so much that we didn't need to build this wastewater treatment plant. To know status quo is very important in all things. It's important in quality. It's important in energy consumption. It's important in water consumption and chemical consumption. You have to know status quo in order to know how to improve.
And what is the biggest improvement that you guys have done over the years? What do you feel more proud about?
We have created transparency in our production that very few tanneries have, and that enables us to tackle the problems in a much easier way and a much more analytical way.
And do you think this is this model, your model, it's exportable to every other tannery and it can be a industrial based module, so everybody can be aligned to your standard, or is something that is really particular to your tannery and to your company as a unique case in the market?
Our boss is German, that helps. But I think it's if you believe in it, if you really decide to live it, then you can do it. I mean,
And,
I remember when I started at TanTec, I was working every day cleaning up, telling everybody that they had to leave the rubbish in the rubbish bin.
another question that I have, and I'm sure people would like to be, we always speak about traceability, and we always speak about where the leather come from, and it's not easy. It's a very blurry word behind the tannery where this leather come from. So I saw that you guys are very, very strong in this, and you can trace back your leather to the cattle. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we have always been able to trace the leather back, the hides back to the slaughterhouse. We couldn't go any further because the slaughterhouse couldn't do it better.
Yeah.
We have now started working together on different projects with different slaughterhouses where we are able to go back to the farm. But that's still small because that will take a long time. We're using a lot of American hides, which we tan in America, in the States, and get as wet glue to China and get them.
And percentage-wise, what are we talking about today?
We are today talking about 80%.
Wow, it's a big number already.
We want like to reinforce again the message, no? For who is really in the business like us. I mean, we know leather is basically a recycled material, but for the outside fashion world, they still see leather as a material that is not sustainable because you kill the animal to have it, and you never know where's the animal coming from. And they think also that the tannery is polluting much more than other material. How much can we trust tanneries, and which tanneries we can trust?
I'm a big advocate for the leather working group. They have done a lot for sustainability of the tanneries. And I think everybody who is involved with the leather working group are moving in the right direction. It's getting more and more complicated to be audited by a leather working group because the audits are getting more and more complex and more detailed.
So you mean that if a tannery is a certified leather working group, especially gold leather working group, then there is really a good base to trust the work of the tannery from the animal welfare and also from the environmental impact of the process.
Yes, I would say so. And it's getting stricter. In the new protocol, which is under development now, the traceability will be much more strict.
And for example, Carl, how do you like leather? How do you like this business? How do you feel about this business? It's beautiful.
I don't know anything else.
That's I think in this screen there are like 4 leather guy, and even Matt, you had an experience in leather back then with your family, as far as I remember. And
yeah, I mean, I grew up in a tanning family, a U.S. domestic tanning family. So I grew up also with chrome in my veins.
and it's always very tough to get out from that, right?
You can't get out.
You can't.
Once you're in, you're locked in.
One thing about sustainability, which is very important to mention too, the afterlife of the leather. That your shoes made of leather are lasting much longer than a pair of plastic shoes or a pair of vegan shoes or canvas shoes.
One of the biggest achievement, this process called light. What does it exactly mean, light, for, let's say, for normal people?
Light means less impact to the environment. And it is, for each article we make, we can measure the water consumption and the energy consumption and the CO2 emissions and benchmark it up against the LWD audit. So you can see how much you save per square foot if you buy a 1.2 to 1.4 millimeter leather against a 2 millimeter leather.
We can say light is a transparency tool.
Yes, definitely.
So actually with this tool, for the end consumer could see how much water, how much energy have been used for the shoes that they are wearing.
Yes, that's exactly why we are marketing it outside now. It used to be an internal tool that we used when we developed leather. In the development, we saw at the development stage, we already saw if this was a feasible product to produce. In 2010, it became to the public or to the customers, and we taught them about, trained them about that you could see the different articles that you were looking at. You could see how much you were saving per pair of shoes. So that's why we are in our catalog showing how much savings per pair of shoes, how much savings in water bottles, and how much savings in LED lamps.
So, Carl, can you give us some figure about water and how much per square foot your tannery is using per water with the new technique, the light technology?
Yes, it's not a new technique. I want to emphasize that this is just common sense.
It's a practice.
This is measuring, and it is finding out where you can save water and energy.
Okay.
It is nothing. There's nothing fancy, high tech about it. You can say that we have about water consumption per square foot 4.2 liters, and a tannery that is LWG rated as approved has 12 liters.
Wow, you are 3 times less.
Yes.
So we really want to incentivize the other tanneries. I mean, with this video, I think we can show that there is the possibility out there to make things more sustainable, to save water and to do things better. I think this is really strong message, Carl, and thanks really for sharing.
Well, that's my pleasure.
So I hear that Isa TanTec is coming out with this mushroom material. Maybe you can give us more figure of this material, if it's really sustainable, how much is sustainable, can replace leather.
Well, this is not made to replace leather. This is a material, this is an additional material that we are not going to cannibalize on our own profit. We want to compete against the plastic, the so-called vegan leather, which is basically the only good thing is it doesn't. The only good thing for the vegan is that it doesn't contain animal skin, but they're not doing the earth a favor because it is based on fossil energy and plastic. So that is where we have gone in and said that we want to make a sustainable material as an alternative to those things. And it is based on natural fiber, and it is based on mushroom. And it doesn't necessarily look like leather. It has a texture as a natural product, but I wouldn't say you would confuse it with leather.
It's another product.
It's a different product, yes.
And it's a different smell, I guess.
Yes.
And how far?
A different smell.
And how far are you with the development?
Well, we have the started sampling now. There will be a lot of changes. There will be a lot of improvements because we started it on the drawing disc and just made something we thought that people would like. Now we're getting the feedback from our customers, and now we have to fine tune it and improve some of the specifications and so on. So we will be starting in the beginning of the new year on production.
Is your CEO an hands-on person, or it's like a visionary CEO?
He's everything.
It's everything. That's the great answer, my friend.
Well, I mean, to make a tannery like this in 3 continents and also that make all different kind of products, you really need to be very
hands-on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What will be one limit of the leather industry that we cannot go beyond that?
It's very difficult to get rid of all the salts. That's one limit that we will always have. We can tan our hides. We can tan our hides at the slaughterhouse. Then we don't have to salt the hides. But we cannot completely get rid of the salts because you have different techniques where you can do it, but they are so expensive at the moment.
So you mean the big limit, correct me if I'm wrong, is to really have 100% traceability or control of the full chain in one group?
Exactly, that's very important.
Thank you very much, Carl, for sharing with us that it's possible to have a sustainable tannery, that is possible to have a tannery that traces the material in the right way.
Thank you so much, and it was nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
We will
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao.